Well, it's recording. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. I'm Miss Kelly. I'm going to be your English teacher next year. I'm not here today, which is tomorrow for me, because my daughter, this kid right here, has a very important doctor's appointment at Texas Children's, and it took me literally like hours to get the appointment. So, sorry. I would much rather be with you than having my child poked with needles. Believe me, but okay. So your summer reading assignment. Hopefully, Oscar and Mr. Fredericks have done a good job explaining why you have to do it, so now I'm going to explain what it is that you are going to do. Okay, so some of you remember that packet that you got, that you had to sign away your life to get. Remember the packets that you got at the end of the year? Some of you don't remember. That's okay, because you know what you're going to do? You're going to take the staple out, and you are going to go to the recycling bin and drop it. Okay? Because we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I don't like that packet. I don't like that packet for two reasons. One, it's too stringent. It's too strict about what you have to read. It has like 5 different lists and you're supposed to pick a book from each list and what? No. This is the summer. You should get to read what you want. Also, when it does pick books that it wants you to read, some of them are not actually quite healthy enough. So I'm going to talk about balance now. Balance is so important in everything, right? In your diet, in your relationships, and in your reading. So, I know some of you have this image of English teachers as being like, we only want you to read the classics all the time. These books that were written by dead white guys like 200 years ago, right? And sometimes that's important, but it should not be all you read. So we're compromising a little bit to balance that out. The packet says that you should be reading 5 books over the summer. I'm going to lower that number to 4. Now, if you read 5, fantastic, good for you. But I'm going to actually lower that number to 4, okay? And you are going to read 1 healthy book. I call this the broccoli list. This is like your vegetables, right? And then the other 3 books, you can read whatever you want. Whatever you want. So long as it is on grade level. Okay, so long as it is meant for your age or older, okay? So don't be reading Junie B. Jones. I mean, you can. It's cute, but don't count that, okay? If it has a picture every other page, it's probably not on grade level, unless, of course, it's a graphic novel, in which case, fine. Okay, so that averages out to, if you want to pace yourself, for my little procrastinators like I am, what I would have to do, if I were you, is I would get those little tabby Post-it notes, and I would tab out like how much I need to read per day. It's about 15 pages a day. If you can do 15 pages a day, you will be fine. And that's actually more healthy, I think, than trying to do it all in the last couple weeks, right? That's going to kill you. If you like trying to run a marathon, but training for it for like a week, that's a problem. You're going to die. Okay, so this will be your first major grade. It'll be your first major grade in my class. But the thing is, it's all like personal opinion. It's all what you think. So there's really only 2 ways to get this wrong. The first would be to not do it. Of course, you're going to get a 0 for that, right? And last year I had a 99% turn-in rate, so I don't expect you not to do it. The other would be to plagiarize. Okay, it's personal opinion. All you have to do is tell me what you think. Even if I completely disagree, and even if it's completely rife with grammar errors, that's fine. I'm not really counting grammar on this, to be honest with you. I just want to see what you think. So if you pull what someone else thinks, and it's obvious to me, which it will be, then you're going to get a 0. And then I'll have to call your parents, and that's a problem. So don't be that kid, okay? Okay. So as long as you do it, and it's your opinion, you're gold, okay? So it's going to be due the 3rd Friday after school starts. Now some of you just heard, hey, I don't have to start until school starts. Ha ha ha. Oscar, is that a good idea?
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Because I promise, once you get here, we're going to be on and rolling, and you're not going to have time to read 3 novels in 3 weeks. Okay? So, balance. I wanted to do a quick demonstration of balance. I don't read only classics. I try to read one thing that's good for me, one thing that's complete junk, and one thing that's kind of in between at all times. Because I have a short attention span, and I'm lazy, and I'm too lazy to go upstairs to get a book when I have one right next to me. So I'm going to show you what I'm reading right now. Okay, so this is like my broccoli book. This is healthy right here. Also, it's hot in here. This is a Books for Better Life award winner. It's one of the best books of the year. It has a lot of critical acclaim. That's like a healthy book. And it's about this guy whose mom is dying of pancreatic cancer, and it's super depressing, and I can only read 5 pages at a time without crying and wanting to call my mother and tell her I'm sorry for being a jerk when I was in high school. So that's that one. This one's like in between. It's like a healthy food that I like oranges or something. This is a book of toddler activities, because I have a 2-year-old, and I'm sitting around with her for like 24 hours a day now over the summer. I'm like, what do we do? We're just looking at each other. I can only watch so many episodes of Henry Hubble Monster and Jake and the Neverland Pirates and whatnot, right? So this is like kind of in between, and I'm just doing like a couple at a time. And then this one, called The Midwife, it's based on a TV show. This is fluff, this is fun, this is an easy read. The other English teachers and I are going to lunch today to talk about it, you know. This is like beach read, you know, chick lit. All right. And then I also have a really unhealthy addiction, this is like French fries, to magazines. I counted, I have like 23 magazine subscriptions. Like it's a problem. It's a problem. Anyway,
You only brought 2.
so I try to balance in that too. I couldn't bring the whole basket. And I'm like weird. I go through them, I fold down the pages that I want to that I want to do something with, and then I go and I have boxes where I sort. I'm very German, right? I sort them into different, anyway. Okay, so I balance in that too. I have Time magazine, which is like news, and then I have Entertainment Weekly, which is complete crap and has pictures of Channing Tatum, right? It's fine. See, I have a master's degree in English, and I read this. It's okay. Don't feel ashamed, okay? Okay, so balance. So you're going to read 3 books that you want, anything you want. Could be off the Aldine list if you want to. And then 1 book from this list. This list is from the list that the College Board, that's the people who make the AP tests, like they're a big deal in education. They made a list of the 101 books that college-bound readers should have read by the time they get to college. And I don't know that anybody ever has read all 101. I haven't read all 101. But this is a good start, like a list of vegetables, right? And you are going to choose 1 of those. Now, the good thing about these is, as Mr. Fredericks pointed out last period, most of these are old enough that they're free. Like if you go to Kindle or you go online and you search for them, they are old enough that they're called in what is called the public domain, which means their copyrights have run out, and you can get them for free on the internet. So, most of them, not all of them. So let me just point out a few of them to you. I won't steal yours, I'm sorry. Sorry, Oscar, I'm moving too fast.
It's fine.
Okay. So of course you have some Shakespeare. How many of you have read Shakespeare before? Ooh, look at you. What'd you read?
I read the
What was it about?
he's talking about death.
Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah.
Like the evolution of
Interesting. Okay. Well, there's a couple for you on there. Hamlet and Macbeth. Those are both about death, too, a little bit. The next one down, Pygmalion, that's a play, and it's really short. And it's about this guy who tries to change a girl and make her speak better and to see how it affects her level of society. It's really interesting. There's a movie called My Fair Lady, a musical that's based off of it. It's lovely. Look it up on Netflix. Okay. Then you got a couple Greek ones. Those are going to be difficult, but also about death. Oedipus Rex has incest, too. The Grapes of Wrath, that one's awesome. American, short, easy to read, classic. Mr. Fredericks likes Treasure Islands. It has pirates. That's fun. Let me just kind of scroll down here. Candide is interesting. That's Voltaire. That one's pretty short and easy. The one below that, Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut. This one's strange, written in the 1960s. It's weird. If you like weird, this one's weird. Awesome. All right. Especially for the ladies, The Color Purple. I would highly recommend it. It's excellent. It's emotional. It's from the perspective of a slave woman, right after slavery, actually. Her parents were slaves. And it's just sad and good and awesome. If you're into poetry, Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman is one of like the classic poets. So that one's not too long, but it's poetry, so it might take a little bit longer to kind of digest. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Arabian Nights, that's like Aladdin stuff. John F. Kennedy, I'm sure you've heard of him, hopefully. Profiles in Courage is his, I think it won the Pulitzer. Did it win the Nobel? Whatever, it won something. And it's nonfiction, it's just kind of essays, and it's short, just saying. Martin Luther King Jr., hopefully you've heard of him. Lamort Arthur is about like King Arthur. If you've heard of Arthurian legends and the Sword and Stone and all that good stuff, if you're into that kind of stuff, fantasy, witches and all that, this is one of the grandfathers of that genre. It'd be a good idea to read that. The Prince, Machiavelli. What do I want to say about that? It's about a prince who is not the nicest of fellows, but it's advice on how to rule a country. So it's very historically interesting, and you can look at it. The Communist Manifesto, you can look at that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any questions about any of these books, I want you to email me. This is my email address. Zoom in on this also.
Right.
This is my email address. Write it down. Email me. Questions, comments, concerns, email me. I promise I will check my email like once every other day-ish. So you can ask. It's always better to ask around here. The worst thing in the world is if you don't ask and then you show up and you don't have what you're supposed to have, and I'm like, why don't you have it? They're like, well, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I can't grade that. I can't grade I didn't understand. So make sure you ask me if you have questions, okay? So, for each of these books, these 4 books, you're not going to do that Aldine packet thing. I don't need a summary. I know what all these books are about. Don't tell me what happened. I don't care. I want to know what you thought about what happened. That's called critical thinking. So, on the other side of the paper, you're going to see 5 questions. You're going to answer those 5 questions for each of the 4 books. Okay? So how many questions are you going to answer total, math? 5 times 4, 20. There we go. 20 questions total. Half a page for each question-ish. Double spaced. Double spaced. Don't do single spaced or you're going to write twice as much as you have to. So, those 5 questions for each book. Your opinion. Okay? The first one is asking you, why did the author title this book what they did? What was important about this book? Why did he call it this? Okay? The second question, conflict. Tell me about a conflict in the text. What's a conflict? A problem. There's always a problem. Otherwise, there would be nothing to say. Nobody's like, hey, my day was great. Nothing happened. Yeah, that's a great story. Nobody's going to read that. So there's got to be a problem. Tell me about it. Tell me what could have changed if they had done differently. Number 3 is my favorite one. Do not screw up number 3. Basically, you pick out your 5 favorite quotes from the book. 5 sentences or paragraphs or phrases that you really liked. And then you tell me why you liked it. That's it. Tell me what you thought. Now, this is also the one that gets plagiarized the most, which is so sad, don't you think? If all you have to do is tell me what you think, even if I disagree or even if it's just, I really like this because it reminded me of whatever, and then I get, like, spark notes. Boo, boo. It's a terrible way to get a 0. Sad. Anyway, so 5 quotes from the book. Tell me why you liked it. Okay? P.S. A quote. Trick question. Okay. Find me a quote on this page. I should have brought candy so I could give it. I'm giving you metaphorical candy right now because I picked on you. He's actually reading it. This is awesome. Okay. What you got? Okay. Give me candy. Doesn't matter if it's good. If you haven't read this book, I just wait till you know. Let's just find something.
Oh.
Just read this.
99. Some of the locomotives began to one another and then to move.
Okay, fine. The trick here was there's nobody talking on this page. In other words, there's no quotation marks already on this page. But he was smart, and he realized that anything in the book can be a quote. For some reason, some 4th grade teacher told you, I don't know why, that the only quotes are the ones when somebody is talking. That is a lie. A quote is anything you didn't say. So you have to put quotation marks around anything you didn't say, right? You didn't write this book. You are not Kurt Vonnegut, right? So anything in the book is a quote. Okay? Doesn't have to be when someone is talking. I keep getting emails, but nobody talks in my book. The author talks. You listen. Write down the quote. Okay. Thank you. You're beautiful, Candy. Okay. All right. Next question. Analyze the book for its literary merit. Okay, that basically means, why is this book important? Things that English teachers keep talking about, what does it have in the book? Plot, character, setting, like what's good about this? What makes it valuable and not crap? Okay? That's what I mean by that. Okay, and then finally, what's the theme? Like, what's the point? The point of literature is that it tells us about real life. What does this book tell you about real life? Because every book should have something. Even if it's, a graphic novel about superheroes, that still tells us about real life. How to be brave, how to value the people around us, whatever. Okay? So that's the 5 questions. What are your questions about the questions? Or about the books? And make sure you ask something, because these kids, they're not going to have me to answer them. What questions do you think they're going to have? They're on their own. These people, I swear.
Oh my
They've
God.
already read the
Look,
books,
look.
apparently.
You're on camera.
No? No questions? I did such a good job. Okay, well, you can email me if you have any. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so very quickly, the last thing I wanted to say before Mr. Frederick speaks is about my club for next year. So Thursday, before you go on the field trip, you're going to get a form that has all the different clubs for next year. We do club time on Fridays after lunch. So we work real hard all week long, and then Fridays after lunch we go and do whatever we feel like doing for fun. Okay? And there's different clubs. There's sports club where you go out and, I'm not in that one, run or something. There's a lot of different film clubs. There's board game club. Mr. Fredericks is going to do the animated arts club, which he can tell you about in a moment. I used to do crafts club, which was so fun, but we're switching next year. And Miss Daniels and I are going to do the Victory Bibliophilic and Cinematic Society, which is a fancy way of saying we're going to read books and then watch the movies. That's what we're doing. So I wanted to tell you about it so that whenever you get the form on Thursday, you're not like, what? So basically we're going to read books and watch the movies. So for those of you who are into books, we have 6 spots open for freshmen. So you can put that down. Next semester, we are reading and watching. Well, let me see if she texted me back. I couldn't remember the third one. No, dang it, Miss Daniels. Or you can ask her. But I remember 2 of them. And that's Perks of Being a Wallflower and The Book Thief. So, can't remember the third. Sorry. But anyway. So I think that's all. Bye.
Okay.
Have a good summer.